Ready? Yo, what's good, everybody? We official. We officially superficial official. I got one of those stupid little microphones. And then I got a fake little mic. But welcome everybody, episode 10. I appreciate it. This might be right. Timber for short. And episode 10, we made it. Woo! I know I started this sorry, close to about a year ago, and I only got 10 episodes out, and this shit's tough, especially when you hate hearing yourself talk. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Episode 10. I only regret I have is not starting this podcast sooner. One of the episodes with Dave, I talked about what if I started this podcast when I cared about what people thought about me, like 10 years ago in high school, me and my boy Isaiah, we would vlog some stuff too, just being a bunch of idiots. So it's dope. The only, again, regret I have is not starting this sooner. It's a lot of fun editing videos, not hearing yourself talk, but being able to, sit down with homies, talk about current politics, things that are interesting, sports. It's cool. So again, I know everyone's starting a podcast, but there's so much to talk about. So why not start a podcast? I live near the airport here, so I have AC 130s. Not just kidding. I have what sound like AC 130s. I have a bunch of planes coming in and out. It sounds like Nam, so I do apologize. But yeah, if you have a hobby, if you want to start cooking, drawing, painting, filming, podcasting, even, I'd say you do it. If my dumbass could do it, I think you could do it too. And again, I do apologize. I haven't been very consistent, almost a year long, and I only got 10 episodes out. But we got video now, so we're gonna start doing more episodes in video. Gonna have more guests on. I got two of these little shits. So gonna have some guests on, uh, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna keep doing this. One thing I want to do too is like boiler rooms. I want to have some DJ friends on. I DJed myself too. I was shit, but I know some people that are pretty awesome at it. And I'm here in SoCal. Would love to do it in the beach, Mexico City. Would love to do it in Carniceria, a meat place. But we'll pause, take it easy. But yeah, so again, episode 10. Uh, Thank you guys. I really love you guys and appreciate you guys for tuning in. I wanted to leave you or give you something to think about right off the bat. Last episode was a little bit about fakeness, whether it be politicians, whether it be, uh, corporations, the food that they're feeding us, or, people that, the fakeness. I just got really tired of it being put on a pedestal. And the reason why I want to give you guys something to leave with or think about, food for thought, or you could, ignore it and, dislike this video. But I want to leave you with something called the water bottle theory. And the water bottle theory, it makes you put things into perspective. So you could be, the water bottle, or it could be a Snicker bar, a candy bar, bag of chips, whatever you think. Or you could, say F off. um, but the water bottle theory. So when you think about a water bottle and you're going to purchase it, it has different values, right? If you go to the grocery store, the water bottle is going to have a value of 50 cents, maybe $1. If you go to 7-Eleven, $3. If you go to a concert, it's going to be like $10. Movie theaters, $9. If you go to sporting events, $15. Coachella, it'll run you about $30 for some water. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is it has different values, right? So you got to think yourself as a water bottle. Uh, you got to put some value to yourself, perspective of your value. If you don't feel like you're somewhere where you don't feel valued, or you feel like you could be doing better, or you feel like your environment could be better. The grass is always greener, they say. If you feel like things could be improved, or you're just not liking the situations where you're in right now, then move to an environment that makes you feel valued. Makes you feel like you're doing some progress, like you're being heard, like people want to be around you. I want to listen to you. And I don't mean this by myself. I heard this in some type of corporate speech that I was kind of zoning in, zoning in and out of. But it really does make you think. First of all, in the water bottle aspect, in some aspects in Africa, even Flint, Michigan, here in the U.S., good old USA. Uh, that water bottle, the value of the water bottle is a life saving. You know what I mean? If you haven't had water, and you're in the ocean and you're about to die, water bottle is pretty life saving. So the value of the water bottle, uh, it could change, honestly. And if you have 10 gallons of drinkable water right in front of you, you're probably not going to care about that water bottle at all. So makes you think, puts shit in perspective. But again, one also something I wanted to give you guys, I guess, a little bit of information, just a fun fact, just something that's relevant right now is AI. You know, AI is being talked about. A lot of people are losing their jobs in the tech world. AI is. I went to the movie theaters, and AI, or there was a box where whatever you have, where you touch screen, where you order your snacks and shit like that, and all the all the workers in the theater did was just hand me my nachos and my drink. And I don't know, I thought that was weird as hell. Obviously, it was a little bit easier. It's probably saving the theaters some money, but I don't know. It's just AI is here. It's being jammed down our throats, and some people are being affected by it. And something with AI I wanted to remind you guys of is that we as people are training and have trained AI. An aspect of AI is called machine learning, and that's because that's what it is. That's what it's doing. So an example, a stupid example I have about AI is if I want to create an AI strictly about basketball, the history about basketball, the stats, all that basketball related, and it will answer everything about basketball. I'm gonna input the AI with only basketball data, basketball statistics, history, data, experiences, data, only basketball data. So that AI, when I ask it about anything basketball, it's going to give me a question, a scenario, whatever, but it's going to be basketball related because that's the only data I put. And then if I ask it like a football question, it's not going to know what the fuck to say. You know what I mean? It's not going to be able to answer that question because the only data that is in that machine is basketball related. So and that's what, if you think about Anthropic, ChatGPT, Gemini, that's pretty much what these AIs are doing. Think about the story I told you about the Pokemon Go, how we pretty much worked for free. We were geotagging a map for the AIs to learn, for the Waymos, for those little robots with food. We were playing Pokemon Go, and some brilliant CEO was like, hey, why don't we make these people their phones? I don't know how it works, but why don't we just machine learn and take data of everywhere they've been, all the streets, all the alleys, all the parks, all the go, and just save that data so we could use it, sell it, and that's just people are still playing that to this day, and that's why some people are millionaires and billionaires. But yeah, so Chat GPT, Gemini, uh, Claude, that's all that they're learning. They're learning from us, obviously, not any civilian, not dumb, not just any civilian. They're not learning from some dumb fuck in Alabama that's still supporting Trump. But no, dude, there's been a ton of research. A ton of studies, uh, essays, speeches, books, a bunch of content. And paperwork, research. Again, you know what I mean. A bunch of shit that the computer could study and just be able to find an answer to what you're trying to get an answer to. That's how the AI works. So never forget that you could create an AI. Using one of these AI tools, you could create your own AI, and you could make it learn or with the data, whatever data you would like. But yeah, it's just interesting, um, to remember that these AIs that are going to be taking our jobs, not the Mexicans, they took our jobs. Those people are going to be saying they took our jobs to a bunch of computers soon, or they have if they haven't already. But AI, and what I mean by it's studying us is, have you ever called like customer service, whether it be a plane ticket, um, Uber, DoorDash, whatever, any customer service, and before you get on a call, there's like a robotic voice that says, "This call will be recorded for review purposes." So it literally tells you, and a lot of people just blow by that, think about it, okay, who cares? Like, let me fix my issue right now. Uh, but they're literally telling us that, hey, which does happen. I work in customer service, customer success, which does happen. Like, we listen to recordings. I don't know if I'm breaking any contracts, but we listen to recordings. Our AI studies those recordings, so that way, if they have a similar situation happening or similar question, similar scenario, the AI could refer back to our call or our chat, our email, that we spoke about in the notes, and they could easily answer that question, uh, on the chat, in the chat messages that they're doing. So it's telling you that we are being recorded, we are being studied, and that's just something to think about, especially because data privatization, being a private life, living a private life, that's going to be something that's non-existent. It kind of is non-existent right now in some states. It's illegal to go off the grid. So it's just crazy shit I learned. But I wanted to give you guys again something to take home, something where you're like, oh damn, I didn't know this, or like not just the calls, but there's something called Log Rocket. Log Rocket. It's a tool that a lot of big software companies use. If you're, in banking, if you're in expense management, if you're HRIS, if you're using a CRM, all these companies have this tool called Log Rocket. And what Log Rocket is it pretty much screen records your computer whenever a big event happens in that platform. So whether you log in, whether you change something information, whether you fuck something up, or whether there's a bug. Uh, it screen records that moment. Um, Only about depends how long that moment is. So if you keep messing it up, it'll keep screen recording, but it'll screen record whatever you're doing, and that just puts it in perspective that not like they're always watching. I'm not that type of crazy, but people are able to watch, what you're doing, even if you don't know it. So like when you log in, if you maybe you're logged in, like I'm a little brother, youngest of three, and I would sometimes use my older brother's computers. In those cases, those scenarios, it would get recorded. So which is kind of nuts, but that's something to think about. Whether you're the type of person that doesn't want their data out, whether you don't care. We are being studied by AI, and just something cool to think about because uh, you know I don't always think about. I know last episode was a little bit of a rant, bunch of banter, and but no, especially on Twitter too. Those bots get me all the time. I'm not always mad. Let's just spoke about the fair. The fair, I have a good time. I love family. My dog Iggy, that's my boy. That's my boy Blue. But that's my homie. I live in the beach here, so no, I'm not mad all the time. It's crazy seeing what the fuck is going on, and everyone just normally going about their day, going about their business, and uh, I don't expect everyone to like revolt now, and protest and shit like that. But it's just the people that are leading this country. I don't know, the people that are getting rich, the people that we put in a pedestal and all that. Uh, that it's just gone out of control. I don't know. And like what I do in my free time. Like I try to be with family, visit them now that I'm closer to them, visit them as much as I can, friends, go to hikes, beach, and I watch a lot of movies, stand up comedy, and like Netflix roasts that just came out. Like it's hard to separate like Kanye the art from the artist. No, but it's in some aspects kind of like because and I love stand up comedy. I love roasts. When there Kevin Hart had a roast recently. I'm a big fan of stand up comedy. Uh, I wanted to be a stand up comedian 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But now, like you look at the Kevin Hart roast and shit is just annoying. It's just the people that are hosting it, the jokes. You look at the Comedy Store. Joe Rogan and his cronies are like the most popular comedians right now, and it all is fugazi. It all sucks, honestly, because there's a lot of people just are a bunch of dorks, uh, and people are like, "What are you talking about, Damien? They're hilarious. That's why they're famous. They made it that far, blah blah, because they're good." It's like, no, dude. It's like what I'm talking about is like yeah like oh, I'm trying to enjoy this roast, trying to get my mind off what's happening with this country that's getting fucked right now, and it's getting worse, but let me just take my mind off it because information overload has gotten me tired. I'm too desensitized, so let me put on this roast, and then you hear like jokes of Shane Gillis, pretty much, which is not even a joke, is the truth. Enjoy it, have a good time, smoke a little doobie, laugh a little harder. But then you hear jokes like Shane Gillis, calling out. It's not even a joke, which is the truth, which is even scarier and just more angering. Shane Gillis goes, Chelsea Handler had dinner with Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrews and Woody Allen. And everyone just laughs like he's calling everyone a pedophile because they are, Hollywood, stories about Hollywood. But pretty much calling Chelsea Handler a pedophile, friends with Jeffrey Epstein, that's obviously nuts. Everyone's just laughing. Ha 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 ha. She had dinner with history's largest child trafficker. Chelsea, you're crazy, girl. Um, and then people just like Shane calling the audience, other people pedophiles on the stage, and everyone's just laughing, which is fucking nuts. Like that, how does that not make you feel like a Black Mirror episode? Uh, like I don't expect people to again revolt, but we really got to stop putting these people on a pedestal. Anyways, Tony Hinchcliffe, I think he's gay. I don't know, the little short racist dude that sucks off Joe Rogan. He uh he starts making some George Floyd jokes. He starts calling people pedophiles too, and it's all a circle, dude. Like you start laughing, you're like, oh, that's a good one. That was a good joke. Pete Davidson was there, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams was there, and you're like, oh man, this is hilarious. But then you realize like half of these dudes are friends, best buddies, and suck off Joe Rogan. That's how they got famous. Uh, and Joe Rogan is obviously one of Donald Trump's cronies, so it's all a circle, dude. One of my favorite, or I guess used to be favorite comedians, Mark Norman or whatever, part of that little Joe Rogan circle. Uh, he said literally straight out on an interview once, like, "Oh, I like Woody Allen. I know that's not a popular take, but I'm a fan of Woody Allen." Which Woody Allen, uh, pedophile, friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and married his daughter-in-law or his adoptive daughter or whatever. I don't know, pedophile. So it's just crazy that people could blatantly say shit like that. Blatantly make jokes, and we're just here like a bunch of idiots, ha ha ha, ha, or the masses are still putting people, streamers, A-listers, Met Gala, like putting people on pedestals. I don't know. Makes you puts it in perspective. Like you're laughing, you're like, ha, all these people fuck kids. Like, dude, that's so insane. And I know a lot of people, I don't know what it is, whether it's pride, whether it's not wanting to look bad, or whether you don't care, whether you're desensitized, information overload, or whether you're a racist or a pedophile. I don't know. You'd think there would be like a revolution by now, you know what I mean? I mean, we're underpaid, overly worked. They're poisoning our food. They rape our kids. Even people eat people in some aspects. You know what I mean? Uh, I don't know. I could. The list goes on. List. We don't. Our rent is going getting higher. Our energy, gas bills are getting higher. Food is getting higher. So you'd think people would like kind of wake the fuck up, or at least say a little something, or at least impeach the guy. I mean, Bill Clinton, who's also the devil, that guy. I did not have sexual relationship with that woman. Uh, he's a pedophile too, but he got impeached for getting head in the Oval Office. Like Donald Trump was in the Epstein files more than Jesus Christ and Harry Potter were named in their books. So it's nuts, dude. I don't know. But like my main point is it's hard to enjoy like things, everything Hollywood related, obviously, because it's all a circle. Uh, it's all corrupt. They're all pedophiles. But like you try to enjoy things, and even like when I go to Mexico and shit like that, like I'm like fuck, like some of my people are getting put in cages. Like why are you so angry? If you, I'm a different guy on Twitter. And those bots get me. They know how to pull my strings. But even like I lose followers there, and some people are like, "Why are you so mad?" It's like, dude, because they're putting my people in cages. They're killing my people. They're killing some U.S. citizens, white people, unarmed, ISIS, and we forgot about that. Why? Because information overload. And I've said this before: knowledge is power, and they've made us dumb as fuck. So we have no power. That's probably why. I've heard people say, "What are we gonna do? They're gonna arrest us. What are they gonna do? They're gonna kill us." And I agree. Like the scientists, they killed 15 scientists that were related to pretty big projects, pretty government classified projects, and they all had social media. So again, I could take my tinfoil hat on, and they could speak for themselves. Not anymore, but but well, you could look back at their accounts. Like these 15 scientists got killed, nothing happened. Like everything is going up. Epstein files, war in Iran, nothing's happening, and everyone's just going about their day. Like, oh, the Met Gala, oh, the NBA, oh, Shea Gillis getting fouled every play. Like, it's all crazy to me. I don't know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's kind of surprised or just a little. I don't even want to say intimidated. That's the wrong word, but a little like freaked out about just how everyone is playing it so cool. But I don't know. We just got to stop being stupid. And they could do this all like the data centers. They know that they could do whatever they want because we're not going to say shit, or the masses is not going to say shit because again, because we have to get to our underpaid jobs, and we have to get this plastic food that's killing us. And oh, but if we revolt, how are we going to get medical care? Uh, Medicine, medical health, all that, hospitals are too expensive. So, like, literally, reasons to revolt right there. I really just hope, and it's not gonna happen. I was gonna say, I really hope we just smarten up, but it's not. We're just gonna get more stupid. People are gonna keep doing whatever they want, get more confident. Pedophiles and racists are at the most confident they've ever been. So, thank you, Donald Trump, you pedophile. But again, some other things like this, like the New York Post, I could wipe my ass with that, and it'll still be, a better story than whatever they have, more accurate as well. But the New York Post, they're obviously owned by someone, and with someone with ugly friends, but they defend racists, pedophiles, Donald Trump, and anyone in that administration. But now there's like a California Post, and I didn't think we needed more. But California Post, I saw this story on Twitter where it was saying like the Blue Dot Fever, artists, concerts, and gaming events. They're having a Blue Dot Fever that's an issue right now. And what the Blue Dot Fever is pretty much when you go to Ticketmaster or any ticket app, and nothing has been bought or it's still not sold out. You can see all the seats, and they're bolded. On Ticketmaster they're blue, And so they're saying that the blue dot fever is that the artists are noticing that there's a ton of tickets that haven't been sold, and they're having trouble selling tickets, and it's a blue dot fever, blah blah. Like, dude, like fuck yourself, bro. Like take that blue dot up your ass. The blue dot fever is obviously people not being able to afford, or being able to afford concert tickets, or like World Cup tickets that are $1,500, like cheapest in Mexico. I see. Uh, so it's just shit like that. But no, but to ABC, California Post, some some magazine, some newspaper. It's a blue dot fever, and it's not the economy's fault. It's not the artist's fault. It's the people not buying tickets. Like, dude, come on, bro. Like that's what I mean by we got to stop putting these people on the pedestal, because they obviously, whether you're rich, famous, or in politics, or just from Israel, you can do whatever the hell you want, and us civilians, we're the ones that have to pay for it. You know, shout out Luigi. But but that's just one thing. The blue dot fever really caught my attention because how are you gonna? I don't want to say blame, but how are you gonna make the artists, the ones that are make millionaires, the victim? Oh, they're having a hard time selling tickets when people are having a hard time buying groceries for their food, dog. So uh, it's just tired of all that stupid shit, And in high school, I played football, basketball, did track. You could consider me a jock, but I also spoke in the rallies, planned homecoming, prom, all that spirit, gay stuff. uh, but so I always got told kind of like that joke, oh, the jocks, they're the popular ones in high school, college, but when it comes to the real world, the nerds rule the world. The nerds are going to be the bosses. And I understood that. I mean, Steve Jobs was big at the time. Bill Gates, we didn't know he was a pedophile either with STDs. Uh, so Steve Wozniak. So realized that that joke became a reality, at some point. So that was gonna piss me off. I'm not upset about that. The nerds, the smart people that should be making the big bucks, except for teachers, they should be making more. Uh, but the smart people end up being the rich people, like the dude that figured out that Pokemon Go should be, use this data. Like, genius, fucking genius. Yeah, I don't mind him being a billionaire. Uh, but what pisses me off, I guess now, just kind of, and this is more of a rant. What gets me going is right now I didn't know that it was gonna be the racist, pedophile, nerd dorks that were gonna be the rich ones running the world. You know what I mean? And I mean people like Ben Shapiro, Stephen Miller, Nick Fuentes, just a couple people that are like, dude, like these guys are fucking dorks behind a screen. And I might sound like a hypocrite, you know what I mean? I'm literally talking, just bought a mic, have my laptop here, talking big. But dude, no, like these guys are fucking dorks. Like I've gotten hit by a Chevy on a highway and survived. You know what I mean? I played football, basketball. I was in a fraternity, first generation college graduate. Like I've lived life a little. You know what I mean? All these people are just fucking rich dorks, not even nerds. Rich dorks that are pedophiles, that are corrupt, bunch of nepo babies. And what blows my mind is that people smarter than me, people cooler than me, uh, have more money than me, whatever you want to say, people doing better than me. Like, listen to these guys and pay attention to these guys, and put them in a pedestal is what I'm saying. And it blows my mind because, again, anyone that listens to this is smarter than I am. As I mentioned, I got hit by a car, uh, got some CTE for sure, and I was a booze bag in college, so I definitely killed some brain cells. So I shouldn't be, and I'm not the voice of reason, but I shouldn't be getting upset of how people are, kind of looking up to these nerds, these dorks, these evil evil. I don't even want to call them villains because they're just people that are at home, talking big, and people are just like, "Oh, that sounds good." Like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, it talks like this. Hypothetically, hypothetically. That's all they fucking got. Hypothetically, if this happened and this happened, and I'm gonna fearmonger you, so you agree with me. Hypothetically, that's literally all they do. I don't know how you could listen to Ben Shapiro. Literally, caterpillar fucking eyebrows. Caterpillar eyebrows. The retiring age, there shouldn't be a retiring age. 65, people should work beyond 65. And then saying shit like pro his country or whatever and fuck us and our people. And they're just like, dude, like, how is this guy rich? How does this guy have an audience? How has this guy pretty much gotten the influence he has received, you know? And then the next dude, Stephen Miller, my God. Dude, like, how do you look like a child and a child rapist at the same time? I literally, I saw him, Donnie, Donnie the pedo took him to China, and Xi Ping, the panda, Kung Fu Panda, whatever the president is, literally looked at Stephen Miller. He looked down at him like, dude, are you an alien? Are you, like you're a fucking loser? Get out of my face. And it's just crazy how much like he's literally in top of the world right now. Whether it be influence, money, it's just crazy. He's a racist pedophile that protects other pedophile that are evil. I don't know. I don't know. And so with Stephen Miller, the president pedophile took him to China to meet the Kung Fu Panda. I don't know, uh, President Xi, and then the Chinese president would literally bodied him, looked down at him while he was shaking his hand, and literally just said, "What the fuck are you?" Naked mole rat. And it's crazy because these people are running the world right now. He's like a couple steps from the presidency. I don't know if he is, but he's literally in that inner circle where, of course, there are a bunch of pedophiles, of course, a bunch of evil people, but even looking back at videos from when he was in college and shit like that, he was always just a racist dork that was just a hateful person, and that literally, which I don't get about all these people. Like they talk about, oh, the white race, the Aryan race, or they're Nazis, blah blah blah, or they want to get rid of the immigrants, and the white people are the top notch, but they look like fucking adult babies. You know what I mean? Like if Hitler, whoever he bows down to, Stephen Miller, if they saw him, they'd be like, "Bro, get in the gas chamber right now, like run." Like there's no way you're part of the perfect Aryan race. I don't know, but people look up to the guy. People listen to the guy. He has influence. Another person I don't understand either is Nick Fuentes. Uh, I don't know, dude. That I mean, he literally just that the guy. The guy is a joke. Like he's a homosexual Nazi that is also Latino, but wants immigrants and everyone else to get deported. So like, and this guy is like, he's big, bro. Like people follow him. He has influence, both right and left, and it's just like he's a dork. Like if you see videos of him, like he would die if a linebacker tackled him. You know what I mean? He would die. And again, the physicality, football, sports, blah blah. That's not the main characteristics of someone surviving. Being strong. But I'm just saying, dude, like that guy wouldn't survive a car crash with a freaking Volkswagen. Like I don't know. And these guys are dorks that are just getting rich, getting influence, and people are listening to them and bowing down to them, putting them in a pedestal. But again, the streamers, influencers, actors, Hollywood, even rappers, it's awful gazy. You know what I mean? But we just have to stop being stupid. Especially I know the guys I mentioned, they're mostly in the far right. One Charlie Kirk was another person that had influence too, major influence. Dude, when he died, people thought there was gonna be a civil war, but the guy was a terrible podcaster that went to colleges and yelled at literally undergrads, freshmen, and would edit his clips to make him sound like he won the conversation, or he outwitted them, outsmarted them, outdebated them. Like every event where he was at live, he would get bodied. All right, not the last one, but you know what I mean. Like he would get embarrassed, destroyed, just because it wasn't an edited clip of him. But it's all from that right side, the far right. And I have Republican friends. I even have MAGA friends. But if you're MAGA still right now, it's inexcusable. You know what I mean? Like you're either the R word, an idiot, or you literally are a racist pedophile. So, but they're just a bunch of idiots, like a bunch of low IQ human beings. Uh, Things that make me say this is, something that's going on right now, like The Boys. I compared film, and some stories to real life events, and the Kingsman, Idiocracy, Vice, The Big Short. Spoke about those in my last episode. But people were talking about The Boys, and this season kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it, but because it's the last season, it's the final season. But people are talking about it because the Homelander, the main villain, pretty much an evil Superman. He's gotten a statue. He's called himself God, and this is shit that Donald Trump is doing. You know what I mean? He has that golden statue. He has that AI picture where he said, "Oh, it was doctored" or whatever, and then he has a fake assassination attempt. People are stupid because their issue with it right now is just saying, "Oh, in the final season, they're just making fun of Donald Trump. They're just parodying everything that Donald Trump is doing." But they don't realize that this is a TV show that was filmed months ago. The script was written months ago, maybe years ago. And this idiot president, pedophile, he's doing this shit Acapulco, acapello. Like he's doing this shit on the fly. Like, like they're not parodying him. Like he's literally just thinks this highly of himself, which is kind of nuts. So it's just The Boys is one of the shows that really made fun of MAGA, the far right, uh, and in the beginning, first couple seasons, MAGA and the far right were big fans of them, and it was funny because they didn't realize that they were getting made fun of, and that's how stupid these people are. Not just kind of the boys and them making fun of the far right being homelanders and shit like that. But also like the music, like far right MAGAs, KKKs, even racist cops that they listen to. They listen to things like Rage Against the Machines, Fortune's Sons, all the Vietnam music, and it's so funny because they don't listen to any of the lyrics. Maybe because they don't understand the lyrics, they can't comprehend the lyrics, or they're not smart enough to. But like Rage Against the Machine, they have lyrics that literally says, the same ones who work forces are the same ones who burn crosses, or something like that, or the ones who work forces burn crosses. Pretty much saying, and this is true. Uh, there's probably in history there's been a lot of in the South cops that were part of the KKK. Uh, Cops right now that are part of Proud Boys or some type of racist group, and they're supposed to be the ones protecting us. Uh, Fortunes of Sons, those Vietnam songs. They talk about how Congress save their kids and they only send poor people to fight wars. Donald Trump, he literally dodged the Vietnam draft, but some of you guys look up to him because you're fucking idiots. But anyways, something that also makes me realize, or just the hypocrisy, it makes me sick, is there's people now that I moved to SoCal. I've realized that starting from Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Diego, that there's quite a bit of Republican people out here, and these people are so fucking stupid. They're so ignorant. There's hypocrisies out the roof that they would literally wear a MAGA hat, tweet shit about MAGA, and in the same day would have to cross the border to Tijuana to get some dental work or some health, some diabetes because they're fat as fuck, some diabetes work, some vaccine because healthcare here in the U.S. is too much. That's the one that gets me the most, dude. It's you see people wearing a MAGA hat crossing the border. You go to Tijuana here. I'm here in SoCal. You know the boys. We go to Tijuana for some Chinese food. Hong Kong. That's where we're at. But when we make that journey with the boys to have the best night of our lives, you also see a long line of old white people, people my white people my age. Obviously, some are Republican, and it's just hilarious because, dude, like they would literally kill themselves. They would literally hurt themselves, whether it be their health care, whether it be their food stamps, whether it be their wages or taxes. Like these idiots would literally hurt themselves, even kill themselves to some points. If you don't have insulin, if you have asthma, uh, freaking abortions. They would literally kill themselves to be right over the libs, to hurt the libtards, because the libtards can't be right. The libtards are ruining this country. These people would literally say shit like that and then cross the country and get healthcare work in Mexico. So, so if you're like, damn, why are you so upset? Damn, blah blah blah, is because it's affected my life, my people, as I mentioned, getting put in prisons, getting put in detention centers, and some people aren't even heard about for years or come out like vegetables. But anyways, that upsets me. But also just the hypocrisy and just how fucking stupid these people are, man. It's really really crazy. And again, it's not our fault. People have made us this stupid. We're not gonna get smarter. We're not gonna get smarter. Like Tim Dillon said, uh, he's a guy that kind of makes comments on things that are happening day to day. He said, if you expect this country to get smarter, if you expect people to just kind of rethink of how they think their way of life, blah blah blah, it's not gonna happen. People are gonna get more stupid. People are not gonna care. They literally have been made confident and comfortable by this pedophile, and it's just gonna be interesting how things go. I do want kids, but I've thought about it. Like, damn, do I want them to live in the world that's gonna be around with all the data centers and shit like that? And I don't say this. Of course, I do believe it. The masses are stupid, but after creating this podcast, after doing some research, obviously, when I started this podcast, it still and right now it still blows. It sucks, and I'm not as consistent as some people. Even the big guys, Theo Vaughn, the Bobby Lees, even the girls, Amy Poehler show. Dude, they be busting out episodes like maybe 3 times a week. That's the name of the game now. You have to algorithm your way, Bill Cosby your way into that shit. You know what I mean? And look, I'll be the first one to say it. The masses are stupid. I completely believe it. But after doing some research and the podcast, doing some homework on how videos could be better, how interviews, how episodes could be better. I'm not the only one that thinks this as well, but studies show that people are dumb as fuck. People are stupid, and we're at the peak of stupidity. And again, it's only going to get worse. Uh, Something that caught my attention was the amount of time videos have on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube to grab your attention. So videos only have 3 seconds to grab your attention. And this is kind of average. Some people are more stupid, some people could stick around longer. But 3 seconds. And that's why you've noticed this on kind of trailers, on reels, on Instagrams. Like the Instagram videos, people start putting the climax, whether it be someone falling, whether it be, a crash, or whatever. People put the climax in the very first frame of the reel now. You know what I mean? Of TikTok, because people don't have enough attention span to wait, more than 3 seconds for the climax to come. So that's why, if you ever notice how videos like someone gets punched in the face and then it shows to the aftermath, and then it shows, it goes back to the beginning of them getting punched, and that's when the video restarts, something like that. I don't know, but that's because people are too dumb as fuck to stick around, even though we're just sitting, looking at our phone, holding it with just our thumbs. People are too dumb to wait 3 seconds unless they have something that grabs their attention, that hooks them right away. So I think that's crazy, and it's only getting shorter as well. So that's why in movie uh, trailers have teasers now. So even trailers have trailers. They start putting the climax in the very beginning of that teaser or the trailer. They put a couple scenes, a couple seconds from the biggest scenes of the movie to get your attention, because people are too stupid that they can't even stick around past the Universal Studios letters coming around the earth. You know what I mean? Like that used to be at least when I was in high school, college, still is to me. Like if there's a dope song that's coming out with that Universal Studios, like it's gonna be a dope ass movie. It's gonna be a good movie. Like um, I don't know, but I guess we just don't have the attention span to even make it past that point now. And People are starting to get upset. People, Kevin or whatever that bald fuck from Shark Tank. He's about to get a data center, and there's just a bunch of data centers that popped up out of nowhere, but just are being created. And these things are the size of Manhattan. They're going to take a bunch of power, energy, uh, acres, land to be made, and that's just a bunch of rich people storing our data, surveilling us, and it just shows that some people are starting to get mad, some people are starting to get angry, but it's stupid because it's like the bystander effect. No one does anything until they get affected, because someone else will protest, someone else will say something. You know what I mean? It's not affecting them, but these data centers are starting to affect these people in the South, in Utah, in the middle bumfuck nowhere, where they saw get ice arresting innocent people, killing civilians, saying, "Oh, that sucks," and putting their phone down. Now they have a data center that they have to fight to be built. um, so it's just all, I don't know. It's not even comedic. It's just all kind of sad at this point. But something that it reminded me of is the Aztecs. Uh, they had the amazing civilization. Um, Tenochtitlan, or whatever, what used to be Mexico City, or what is Mexico City, but used to be Tenochtitlan. And then they got destroyed by the Spaniards. All the diseases that they had, technology, blah blah blah, the corruption. Um, but it makes you puts in perspective that I didn't know that the Aztecs, when the Spaniards came and they arrived, I didn't know that the Aztecs had access to copper, silver, and gold. And so all their weapons were made out of obsidian, right? And obsidian is that rock that if you break it, it gets sharp like glass. And I don't know about weapons. I can't tell you how hard you hit something, how long it will last, blah, blah, blah. But dude, they had access to metal, you know what I mean? And I'm sure the Spanish had gunpowder, and of course they were a little bit more progressed, but still, like metal beats whatever other weapons that they had. So it just makes you think, is there something that we have now that could save us, like AI? Like, why aren't civilians using AI? Like, why are people okay with being stupid? Why are people following evil, racist nerds, dorks? Why are we putting them in a pedestal? Uh, I don't know. Similar to the Aztec people, I don't know if it could have saved them, but it definitely could have helped. And that's just something I'm noticing. I don't know if the Aztecs, it would have saved them. They would have, not been conquered, if they would have made swords or metals, arrows, whatever, javelins. But it makes you think: do we have something? Because we get compared to the Roman Empire. We get compared to the collapse of the Roman Empire as well. But is there something that we have like AI? Is there something that we have that could save us, that could make us less stupid, that could arm us? You know what I mean? Because, dude, I mean, I'm not gonna be the only one revolting, but I'm down. You know, freaking Che Guevara. I remember my brother. Bunch of Mexicans have a bunch of Che Guevara all over their paperwork or all over their walls, all over their posters, but they're not doing shit, you know, or they're not speaking up, or they're not protesting. Um, and that's just, you know, what what I've been thinking about. And like I said, yeah, I do enjoy life. If you hang out with me, it's I'm not even gonna talk about any of this shit, but that's why I got the podcast. You know, I do enjoy life, but it's just hard to get away from this bullshit. You know, from separate the art from the artist when the artist is a bunch of rich pedophiles and we can't even, you know, buy groceries anymore. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 10. We're gonna have more guests on soon here. I'm also gonna start doing everything on video. Let me know, you know, how it sounds, how it looks, what you guys think, what I should talk about more. And dude, start liking my shit on Instagram. You know, like I post shit on Instagram, some cool, some stupid, but I don't know. People just look at it, uh, people don't say anything. I get shadow compliments. I get people that text me, people that DM me, complimenting me, but they don't like it or comment. You know, but I understand. Uh, but I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and this is a lot of fun. If you ever want to hop on a video or hop in an episode, let me know. I'm happy to have you. Thank you so much, guys. Much love. Episode 10.